National is a group of chefs and restaurant owners and things of that nature from Hispanic communities around Colorado that are helping, put more emphasis on the Hispanic culture that's in the community, as there's a large Hispanic community. So I've been able to dine across the community, just trying to help support, showcase some of those restaurants, which could lead to one of these blowouts that I had in my pants this week. But I went to Fat Guy in Denver's restaurant. You remember the place where we celebrated you that one time a couple of years ago?
Yeah, where I got in a fight.
Yeah, with the tree.
Yeah, an inanimate object.
Oh, yeah. It's fucking delightful. Great cocktails. It's located down in the southern burbs. You'll never know where it is. We'll never tell, but it was delicious. I also got to hit up the new Tacos Celine. They have 3 locations now in Colorado. They were started in Aurora, opened one in Littleton, and then they just opened one in the Santa Fe Arts District on 10th and Santa Fe in the former Interstate Kitchen and Bar. Chris, we're talking $2 tacos.
$2 yacos?
$2 yacos, fantastic barbacoa. I thought the pollo was beautifully cooked. It wasn't dry. It was properly seasoned. I mean, me and Tommy went and teed off, and he was going to be our guest at the end of this episode. But it turns out the Rode microphones did not record his voice very well. So, Tommy, your 3rd appearance on this podcast has been postponed. So, suck it, Tommy. But go support him. But also, I went to eat at this new fancy French spot called Noisette, located in the former Thayer location. It's for those that may be not relatively familiar with Colorado's fine dining scene. It's over behind Avanti, on like right near down the street from the Highlands Tavern. It's a very expensive French restaurant. We're small business owners. Some of us work, here in the community for nonprofits and things. This could not be in our regular repertoire, Chris. No. Oh, I had to sell a kidney and a nut afterwards, but it's fucking delicious. The bread is good. The escargot croquettes were delightful. If you're looking for a special occasion, Chris, maybe you're trying to spoil your girl. It's her birthday. Maybe you want to propose, or maybe your parents are in town and they're picking up the tab. Check out Noisette.
Is that, how was it? Did the service match the price and all that?
Yeah, the service was exceptional. They were unbelievably kind. There's wine that's approachable. You can get $60 bottles of wine or $200 $500 bottles of wine. Cocktails are roughly 15 to $20. So that's kind of the going rate in Colorado these days. And while the meat or the entrees were steep, the fish, Chris, the monkfish that I had, it was delightful.
Monkfish is good.
Oh, it is it wasn't overly fishy. It was really meaty, and they had like a crispy sear to it with a nice broth underneath it. That was the highlight of the meal. It was a fucking wonderful bite.
I tell you what, monkfish is delicious, but it's one of the ugliest motherfuckers I've ever seen. Like, it looks like a creature from the deep.
I'm not sure there's a lot of fish out there that I'm like, oh, that's a 9. I'd have sex with that. Maybe like a marlin. Every other fish is ugly.
Ariel.
Well, you're talking about the new Ariel, not the old one, right? I see what you did there. You trapped us. You trapped me. Mermaid. I think the new Little Mermaid is a smoke show. And really? If you have a problem, oh yeah, have you not seen it? It's been like a very contentious point of conversation over the last 2 weeks. Every racist human from our hometowns, Chris, is just like, oh my God, she's black, instead of a make-believe cartoon white girl.
Kind of like
up in arms.
Kind of like the whole deal. I remember when I was back home in the Southland, somebody was talking about the Buzz Lightyear, the newest movie, where there was like apparently a kiss between 2 females, and they're just like, I'm not going to go see that. So probably that same crowd is up in arms.
Yeah, it's the same people that got mad about the new Lord of the Rings TV show about people living in Middle Earth. They're like, there's no African Americans in Middle Earth. And somebody was like, do you hear the fucking shit you're saying? Like, we live in the dumbest time ever. And I'm talking about times where people were shitting with their hands and like throwing it at one another. Here we are arguing about fucking make-believe characters' identities. It's the most preposterous time to be in this country
Very
and
true.
the world. It's not even just this world. I think there's a strong sense of bigotry coming from the old world too, as we saw the Queen get buried and Meghan Markle getting shit on. I mean, Jesus. As someone who used to live over there, Chris, can I get your 2 cents on what the Queen's death means to you? And did you ever tug it to pictures of her as a younger woman?
No, I never steeped that low as to tug it to the Queen.
Would you rather jerk off to Betty White or Queen Elizabeth during her World War II days?
A
young Betty White was a fox.
Yeah, and she was fucking hilarious. So probably Betty White.
Oh, do you like listen to their stand up while you jerk it? You're like, oh yeah, dad joke.
But she's not part of the monarchy. I mean,
they're both. She's technically American monarchy. Her and Dolly Parton are pretty much our princess and our queens.
That's pretty much. I mean, she was a golden girl, so there's
if
that.
If you had to declare somebody a monarch or like a queen or king of America, I just mentioned Dolly, and that's actually a really good answer. But who would you want to be representative as a figurehead for America? Morgan Freeman. Talk about Little Mermaid people being up in arms. Imagine having a black king.
Yeah, but can you imagine the speeches that he would give and how good
I know. Well, I can't imagine. He did play Nelson Mandela and God and Bruce Almighty. The two biggest people ever.
Oh man, I do remember. I forgot about him playing God. I'm surprised that wasn't such a big thing back then, but that was before we really dove into this like far right and far left kind of themes.
Yeah. Who would you put if you had to put a figurehead as our king or queen? You were in charge. Which popular person would you put that you feel would ruffle the fewest amount of feathers?
Shit. Those two got to be like up there. I don't know. Well, no, I was about to say it'd be funny if you had Samuel L. up there. He'd just be screaming all the time. That's just the way I talk.
Bitch.
Yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell. Oh, it'd be great.
That would be a good one because he would have a little, he'd have a little bit more gusto and probably a little less decorum about how he handles things. Obviously, it's not like you're out there like negotiating treaties with war-torn Paris or France, but at the same time, that would be a fun question. Like, does George Clooney deserve a nod? Should we have thought about using someone like Brad Pitt before we found out that he cheated on Jennifer Aniston? For females, can we give it to Adele, even if she's not American? Things like that.
Oh, yeah, Adele's British.
Who would your female, if you had to cast a queen and it wasn't Dolly, who would you pick?
A queen and it wasn't Dolly.
Oprah's not a bad call. And she has Southern roots, so she could really speak to the people of Mississippi.
Martha Stewart.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. She not only knows how to defraud the government, but she can also,
She's done hard time.
Yeah, and we know that she reaches across the aisle and like relates to other, cultures and communities. So I like where your head's at.
And she'd probably be a big weed advocate.
It seems like she is. I'm kind of surprised she doesn't have her own strain at this point. Fucking everybody else and their mom do. Fuck, we have one.
Martha and Snoop creating a strain. Like, why hasn't that happened?
We'll get Lindell on our podcast. I had him on Mile High Life's food contest show last week. We tried to eat dumplings, but he calls him Uncle Snoop. Let's get him on the pod. See if we can he's doing his a lot. It's called Smash and Dash with Lindell White. Go check it out if you like sports, but we'll have to get him on the pod. He loves food. He loves Denver. He's from here. He would fit right in with us.
Speaking of those dumps last week, did you meet the 50 mark?
I'm not going to tip any hands, but let's just say Lindell carried the team as if I was on the USC. I was a white kid on USC in 2004.
Okay.
I'm not, yeah. You know who did more work.
Yeah. But I mean, does Lindell eat like he was a football player or still
He
is?
probably could, but our eyes may have gotten bigger than our stomach. So when we ordered like 75 of different dumplings, we just started throwing them down with our hands. But we got a couple that we probably shouldn't have, like a bigger bowel bun instead of like the smaller. And so that kind of hindered me because my belly, I'm a grazer. Everybody knows I'm a grazer. It's not a big deal. It's how I keep my girlish figure. But I need to be able to sit there, smoke, relax, laugh for an hour and a half, and then go back for round two. That was not. Meanwhile, this restaurant owner is being very nice to us. They're like, the fuck are you still doing here an hour and a half later? So if there was a shot clock, I probably had the buzzer go off in my face, but Lindell did fucking work.
Nice. That's always good. You got to have that teammate who will pull you through.
Yeah, and we'll get him on this, and we'll have to do a food truck Friday with you and get Lindy to come join us as well, because he just likes to fucking eat and have a good time, just like we do. So why not have him come? See if he'll be the third leg of this pod.
I love it. I
See
love
what
it.
I'm saying? Yeah.
Tripod.
Yeah. Okay, so Chris, we've talked about the most random of shit, but that actually worked out well because we didn't have a guest this week, but we filled it with quality banter, shitting on trashy humans and the trashy queen. But we have some things I want to broach before we leave here today.
Broach.
We've done Westward recap. We've done Mile High Life recap. I want to announce that we're officially hiring. We're looking for a graphics specialist. If you can handle video editing and graphics creation, we want to hire you. Send me an email at kip@stoned-appetit.com, and we will literally just have you do some basic stuff as a trial. If it will pay you for that time and effort, if we like what you do, we'll start paying you not only in more money, but we'll pay you in cannabis and food, which is how we get paid. But we think that this podcast could do serious numbers if we switch gears into a StreamYard. We're going to bring home some cameras so that y'all can see us doing it from the Smoke Shack dungeon. And so we want to find a third person to join this team. If the partnership's really great, like it was with Zane, may he rest in peace, then you may end up starting to travel with Chris and I as we start picking up more steam in 2023.
And for those interested, should we have them send in, answer a question with whatever they send you? Like, what's your favorite dinosaur and why?
Chris, that's a beautiful idea. Also include your favorite dinosaur and why, because if you're some loser dinosaur, we can't have you in our pack. That's a great call, Chris. Speaking of which, how's work going? Have y'all dug up anything new?
I'm not, but I'm taking a field trip next week to a dig site. So I need to strap on my fucking whip, and I need to find a good.
I got a hat. I got a good hat for you. It's right here.
Okay. Indy.
Can we? Oh, I've got a vest for you too that has so many extra pockets. It's like a safari vest / hunter's vest. You have to deck yourself out in khaki and green. Really lean into this. Go with like a bandana around your neck, and then grab a white handkerchief out of your pocket, dab it on your forehead, and be like, "Oh boy."
Yeah. And then I'm going to start talking about the penitent man will pass and where all the Nazis around here trying to steal the dig site.
Be like, yeah. So there's a lot less Nazis than I thought than there would be. I mean, there's that guy. I mean, if y'all are down near, the southern part of the state, you may find a couple. Lauren Boebert country.
Are we not looking for the Holy Grail? Is that not what this quest is about?
Walk up there with coconuts as like it's fucking Monty Python and just be like, have y'all found the Grail? They'd be like, sir, please go back to your car and we'll look for your letter of resignation tomorrow.
Yeah, sweet.
Well, we need you to keep this job for a little while, Chris, because I have a sneaking suspicion you're going to bring us a lot of nuggets and eggs, no pun intended for dinosaurs, of cool shit that's going on at the museum in the city. So we're excited for your digs, and we can't wait